Hello everybody, welcome back to Fanblade. Happy New Year! It's January the 1st, and I'm on holiday. Yes, I have got 10 days in which I have no commitments. Christmas is out of the way, New Year's Eve gigs are out of the way, the whole thing's done. I've got nothing to do for 10 days, so I'm going to get stuck in and build myself a guitar. Now, what I've been loving about guitars at the moment is my Epiphone Casino Coupe. It's a sort of a 339 sized thing, but it's fully hollow and it's got P90 pickups on it. Love that guitar, love the feel, love the look, love the sound, everything about it's absolutely brilliant. The only thing is that it feeds back at high volume because it's hollow. So, what I really want to do is sort of marry that with my other favourite guitar, which is a Kasuga Les Paul copy, 1970s Japanese Les Paul copy. And that one's got Maxon pickups in it, which, if you read up on the history of Maxon, they also made pickups for Ibanez, in particular the Super 70 humbucker that was made famous by Eddie Van Halen. I'm not sure if that's exactly what I've got in that guitar, but, you know, old school Japanese pickups, P90s. Look what I just found. A set of old school Japanese wound P90s. I'm going to build myself a guitar with those. I've had a scrounge around in the bin and I've found some other bits of hardware. That will be an interesting bridge to try and marry up to these, both height and string spacing wise, but I'm sure if I lay it all out on a bit of paper, then I'll be able to design something that's going to work absolutely brilliantly. For wood, I've had a scrounge around in the wood pile. I've got a kind of a choice. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do yet, because I have got some mahogany, which may make a nice neck, but I'm not sure if I'm going to need all of that, because I do have this giant chunk of oak here. Now, oak, I hear you say. People sort of a little bit scared of oak. Well, the thing is, there's about 40 or 50 different varieties of oak. Some of them are easier to work with than others. Some of them can be very hard, some of them are not. Unfortunately, this piece is a very hard piece. That may prove interesting to try and work with it. We'll find out as we go. But if there was ever a piece of wood that's begging to be a guitar neck, this is it. So I'm thinking, resaw that, check the grain directions. I think a strip of that, married with some mahogany on either side, that should make a very solid neck blank. Then leftover mahogany for the body. This is kauri. Now, this particular wood is kind of special. It's also kind of gross. That's not mould, it's foam, it's like rubbery. This was part of a floor of a restaurant from a historic building in Canterbury. Now, the building itself fell down in an earthquake, and they tried to restore it, but they couldn't quite get there. This is from a place called Godley House, which I'll put a link in the description to a website to tell you a little bit about the history of the building and the place. So it's quite significant that I've managed to get 3 bits of its restaurant. That's going to be the base for the body. If I need to trim some of these up, because they're a real mess, I need to trim some of these up, then I'll put some mahogany in there and we'll get kind of a laminated effect that way. Now, not thick enough, don't worry. I have here a lovely piece of ash with some beautiful tiger stripe grain in it. That will get book matched and slapped on top to make up the thickness. Then with some vintage P90s and some other bits and pieces, I've found a set of tuners that I think is complete and everything else. This should be quite an interesting build. I don't know if I can do it in 10 days, but I'm gonna give it a go. Here goes. And 15 seconds into it, and we've already hit a problem. There's chunks of metal all through this piece of wood. There's like nail ends or something. I'm not too sure where they came from or how they got there, but they're there. And that's a problem. My planer blades are already in dire need of being replaced, so I'm not too worried about the damage that they will have just done, but I certainly don't want them to do any more. But that does of course leave me with not quite enough carry to really do a full body. So, back to the woodpile to go rummaging. And the verdict is in. I cleaned up the other two pieces of carry and they're fine. They're absolutely fine. If I take the route of resawing these and then flipping them, then the grain will wind up pretty much exactly where we want it, and also I can still get two usable strips either side of this row of shrapnel in the middle. And then of course I can sandwich bits of mahogany in between and create a similar effect to what I have on the mandolin bodies that I'm still waiting for the parts to arrive so that I can finish these. Who knows when that's going to happen? Certainly not me. Hopefully sometime this year. That would be nice. But that's the plan for now, is to resaw all of this and glue it together into a body blank. Okay, so here it is, roughly sort of guitar shaped. There will be some cutaways and a neck and things in there. This is the neck blank, or it's going to be once it's all glued together. I need to do quite a lot of prep on these before I glue it. That all needs to be sanded back, and that's still rough as. But that will be a fine neck blank, I am sure. So once all of this is glued together, I can take some measurements and have a think about what I want the actual shape of the thing to do. That's the fun bit. So yes, let's start prepping and gluing. And here's where things started to go a little bit awry with that piece of oak. As I was sanding out the gluing surfaces, I had to put so much pressure on to make any indentation in the wood that I overheated the motor and cut the power. I did get it finished eventually. Did get that done. So neck blank ready for gluing up. Nice and straight, very, very solid, very stiff, quite light as well. I like the way this neck is turning out, even though, yeah, that bit of oak is going to give me grief, I can tell. The body's ready to be glued up. Now I have rethought. Obviously people were screaming at their computers before I even posted the videos, and it was so loud that I heard you. I'm going to design it before I glue it up. Yes, don't worry. It's not going to be particularly interesting a design. I don't really know what I'm thinking. What I think I'm thinking is something along the lines of a red special. I'm a big Queen fan. I'd quite like something red special-ish. Don't know yet. I'm going to take some dimensions off here, find a piece of plywood and make a template. Or will I? No, I think what I will actually do is clear all of this off the bench and actually design the instrument, because yeah, now would be a good time to actually know what it is that I'm supposed to be making. Indeed. Okay, so after a spectacular amount of redesigning this top horn here, I have settled on a design, kind of offset. It's a little bit more Wolfgang than Red Special, but you know, that's what you get. You don't know what you're going to get when you start designing things. It's quite small. That doesn't really concern me. I like smaller instruments, they're easy to play, and if I make a template of this one, and smaller people want to play them, then that'll be easy for them to do. Haven't quite got the headstock sorted yet. I did find a template that has the right holes in the right place, but it's a different shape to the one I've drawn there, so I need to refine that. I'll ink this all in permanent, then I'll transfer it onto a piece of plywood and cut it out, and that'll be a template that I'll put in my pile, because I quite like that. Right, well that's about all we can expect to get done today, with the glue drying quite nicely, being the middle of summer in New Zealand, so excellent glue drying weather. The body's getting a book match top. We will probably cut and glue that on tomorrow. The neck will need a scarf joint, we'll do that as well. Then the day after that we'll start thinking about fingerboards and other things as well. But we are going daily for the next few days. We'll see if I run out of steam after 4 or 5 days. But in the meantime, while I haven't been making regular videos, I have been working on another little project. I'm in a band, and we are a covers band and we play other people's music, but I thought, wouldn't it be fun to try and write some original songs? So the plan is that we meet on a Wednesday night, we plug our instruments in, we start throwing bits of music around, and at the end of 1 hour I turn the cameras on, press record, and whatever we've written, we catch that in that moment when it's fresh, and we can do one of those a week. So that channel, there should be a link appearing just up in the corner of the screen up there somewhere, and you can go and check out the new project. We're doing one song a week for the end till the end of time. We're just going to keep on going because we don't care if anybody likes it. We do. That's how that works. So yes, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for going over to the Bridgepin page, and there's only one video up there at the moment, but like I say, one a week. Thank you very much for going over and checking that out and subscribing to that as well. I've got sleep to catch up on. See you tomorrow.